Oh, we in there? Hey, welcome to another All-Star Fandom review. And today on our docket, we got Maul, the Shadow Lord. Are y'all ready? Because let me tell you something. These first two episodes were freaking awesome. They dropped two of them. We watched them. I've been watching them all weekend since they dropped. I've watched them like 3 times. I don't know about Jen, but I think Darth Maul is about to wreck shop.
Did he just say I don't know about Jen? Who do you
I
think
don't know.
you're talking to, sir?
My bad. Jen, I'm just gonna say this. I gotta take my glasses off for this one. Look here. I sat down and I had to literally like prepare myself. I had my my notepad and everything in front of me because I was about to work. And when it came on, I just took all that stuff, put it to the side, wrapped myself in cover, and sat there. And I was looking at the screen like, why have I not watched any of the animated Star Wars stuff?
Listen, some of them get slept on, and they should not be slept on, especially for the appreciation of the artistry and then the stories that fit into the overall universe and how it connects to everything. So yeah, don't sleep on them. Do not.
And well, I think for some people, it might be a daunting task considering the vastness of the Star Wars universe. Mm-hmm. And for most people, including myself, I'm afraid I'm not going to understand what's going on because there are certain things I have not seen that I'm like, I missed something. I need to go back and see why he's doing the things that he's doing,
And the nice thing about the Disney Plus platform is they actually have a timeline playlist, and whenever something new comes out, they update the timeline right away. So everything is in the correct order. And then depending on the show, what they'll also do is they'll do special viewing lists of what episodes to watch for certain things concerning the show and the storyline and to give you some more context. So it is good about that.
Okay, I might have to go and do that because the first episode was literally Darth Maul coming in, wrecking shop. Now, you have to remind me of some of these characters because I know for a fact I'm gonna mess up some names, Jen.
Okay.
But the little short guy that betrayed Degas, I think that's his name.
Demas, yes.
Demas.
Yes.
So I assume they all had a deal together. Somebody screwed over Darth Maul. Now he's coming. Not only is he taking credits, he's taking spice, he's taking whatever he needs to take, and he's killing the people that betrayed him.
Yes.
So, and on top of all of that, and I'm like I said, I watched it like 3 or 4 times. He's looking for an acolyte. On top of all of this stuff, on top of all the destruction he's trying to pull and do across the empire, he's looking for an acolyte at the same time. What's going on with my guy?
Okay, so let me give a little bit more context for people who don't know. So this show, Maul Shadow Lord, this show is taking place in the timeline 1 year after Clone Wars Season 7, The World on Mandalore, the confrontation between the confrontation of Ahsoka, Order 66, all of that. And for those of you who are my book nerds, if you want some book context reference, there's Catalyst, which is prequel to Rogue One, to give you more information on what's happening with the Empire, because the Empire right now in this timeline is a baby. It's like trying to figure out its footing. So Vader has only been Vader for a year, so he's trying to figure out his suit. He's bleeding kyber crystals. He's basically dealing with the grief of losing Padme and what he thinks is the baby by the gaslighting of the Emperor telling him, you're the one who killed her in your anger, and feeling that. So and then we also have the energy program happening at the same time. A lot of experimentation that's going on. And within all of that, Maul is now no longer Darth Maul, just Maul. And this also coincides with him actually going to trying to take over Mandalore and basically becoming the new mob boss of all the mob bosses, because he had to deal with the Pikes and Crimson Dawn and Timo and Vario. So yes, this is all coming to this new planet that we've never seen before in Star Wars, um, which was for specifically for the show and a few characters. And this is how we're getting our intro. He's coming back and he wants revenge on the people he believes who betrayed him, including maybe the Emperor. We don't know.
Now, tell me something, Jen.
Yes.
Why is the Darth dropped from his name?
Because he's no longer an apprentice. He basically he's no longer an apprentice, and the Emperor basically doesn't go look for him. He just drops him because remember, the Emperor has a ton of puppets at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's not only Maul. We have because one of the things he mentioned was looking for Darth Sidious.
Yep.
And if I remember correctly, yeah, Darth Sidious is also the Emperor. But there was another mention that I believe ties into Dooku's character, where he's pretending to be a different Jedi name because he was working for Maul, the Emperor at the same time with the clones and everything.
Man, I mean, it goes so deep, and you really got to know some stuff when you're watching Star Wars, and whether it's the animated series, even if it's the Skeleton Crew, you still need to know some things. And that's what I'm going to ask you: how does the Skeleton Crew tie into this world, or does it tie into this world?
I would say at the moment, Skeleton Crew doesn't tie into this world because Skeleton Crew is further down the timeline. Because to give you more context of where we are, we're about 18-ish years before A New Hope.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, so
that makes sense.
We're pretty far out from Skeleton Crew and where they fall into the timeline and all that. So, I mean, does that mean there's not a connection some way, somehow? I'm not really sure because this planet in particular, with what they've given us online, this planet is in the mid-rim of the universe. Okay. And I don't believe it's not in the same rim as the planet that we're introduced to in Skeleton Crew. I would have to fact check myself on that one.
Okay. And I'm saying I love all the people that are voicing the characters.
We got a great set of characters.
And one voice I recognize immediately, other than Darth Maul, was Dennis Haysbert. Man, he has the greatest voice. And you all may know him as the All-State Man, but he has the greatest voice next to Keith David of all voiceover actors. I think he is freaking awesome. And he's a Jedi. So I'm like, man, this is going to be awesome. Now, Jen, I'm going to be honest. I don't know much about his character. I do not know much about this guy. Obviously, he's one of the Jedi that survived during Order 66. And another thing is, he has, and I'm assuming the young lady he has with him, that's his Padawan?
I'm not too sure because it could be a couple of things here. It could be that is his Padawan, that this is a master and apprentice that survived Order 66, or they are two Jedi that found each other and stayed together after Order 66. That's also the other possibility because nothing has confirmed their relationship to each other. But there are, in what I was wondering, if there are clues to if this is a master and apprentice relationship by the way he's speaking with her and how she's reacting to
and how she's being obedient. You know what I'm saying? Like he was like, no, just go with him. And and I was like, if they were like just two Jedi traveling together, trying to keep low key, I think she would have had more resistance than just going with the bots at the beginning. Was like, hey, just go with them. They're gonna go take you downtown. They're gonna question you or whatever. Just ride with it. You know what I'm saying? See where it goes. Then she ends up in the hands of Maul. You know what I'm saying?
So no, I disagree with you a little bit because when you look at Ahsoka in the Clone Wars, Ahsoka goes on many missions with many different Jedi masters, and there's always respect for those masters because if they're a Padawan and not a Jedi Knight, there is an expectation of respect for the masters that you are with. It doesn't matter if they're actually your master that you're training under or not, because if they're a master no matter what. So there is that part of that culture where there's always respect.
That makes sense.
So
that makes sense.
Yeah, so I'm not really sure. Granted, I would not be surprised if it is revealed that they are the true master and apprentice that survived together. But then it
Mhm.
also would not surprise me if they are just two survivors of Order 66 that came together, and because of who he is and where he ranked as a master within the Jedi Temple, and if she's a knight or a Padawan, because it's a year later, if she was a Padawan and then been following him for a year, they can still take on that type of relationship, and that could be a new role for each other. So that's also possible.
Okay. And you mentioned something earlier, and I want to
Mhm.
touch on it right quick before we move forward.
Yeah,
You said that Darth Maul or Maul
Maul.
went to Mando and tried to take over, or did take over, because he has a lot of Mandalorians working for him or working with him. And when
Mhm.
I was looking at the first episode, I was like, "That's a Mandalorian. Why is she with him?" Because I thought Mandalorians were bounty hunters.
So what happens after um the war on Mandalore, they do become bounty hunters. But because Maul's ties to Mandalore, and because he's also a Dathmerian, he's one of the Night Brothers. So those two other brothers that look like him, they're also Night Brothers. And he was born
Mm,
as a Night Brother, Maul was, before he began his journey as a Sith. So he has these connections that come from both the comic books and books of him and his dealings. So yeah, there's these so that those are two Mandalorian super commandos from those two factions in Maul's history, where he because there's so much information. There's also at one point he also gets the dark saber, and there's also debates
oh,
that
really?
yes, because remember that the lore of the dark saber is whoever gets defeated in combat to win the dark saber is
It
the new
belongs
ruler
to
of Mandalore.
yes.
And Maul is one of the people that got the dark saber legally. So there's also the talk of him actually being the true ruler of Mandalore for a time, even though he loses the
Really?
dark saber. Yes, even though he loses the dark.
Is is Moff Gideon around during this time?
He should be.
Because I
'Cause
thought
he's part of the Empire, but like
because he
we're not gonna see him at all until like the time of the Mandalorian and all that.
okay. Okay, that's why I was like, so Maul is like way older than him.
I forget how Maul is, but yeah, Maul's old.
Oh wow! See, I didn't know none of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Especially him getting a hold of the dark saber and taking over Mandalore. Like that's wild.
I don't know if he actually took over Mandalore, but like there's the conversation within the fandom of, because he does have the dark saber for a time, legally, if you will, that he might have been the ruler of Mandalore, like when the laws of the saber that he could have been the ruler of Mandalore for a while before losing it.
Oh my goodness! Wow. I'm gonna tell
Yeah.
you. So just the first episode alone. So if we can break it down for the people, because we jumped in this thing kind of hot.
Oh yeah, we're
The
breaking.
first, yeah. So if you want to start, Jen, from the beginning, from where they're, I guess they what were they collecting credits at the beginning, right? And I guess somebody disturbed the credit collection.
Well, yes and no. So yeah, the opening. So this episode is titled, I believe, the Dark Revenge. So basically,
Mm-hmm.
the introduction of the plot point is Maul is on this planet, and he's all of the going after Demas and Vario, who have a truce with each other amongst the clans. And
Mm-hmm.
all of them had to deal with Maul at a time before his downfall, that we see in episode 2 after Duel of the Fates. So
Mm-hmm.
basically, Maul has come to collect, and he has basically orchestrated a plan to take out these heads of these clans that he feels has betrayed him, and is basically making a job happen to look like a robbery, but then there's the detail of, well, they didn't take all the credits, but then they took
Right.
this droid. Why did they take the droid? And now they're trying to piece the puzzle together. And he's also framing these clan heads. He's framing Demas. He's framing Vario, because one of the droids says, this looks like the work of Vario. It's like, well, if it is, that means Demas is going to be around. And Demas, this is also going to start a war with Demas. Why would they do that? And then the Captain Lawson, who's on the scene that we meet, basically says, no, I know these thugs. This job is too clean.
Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna say something. What's his name? Vario. He a piece of trash, though. I mean, out the gate. I mean, because look, the things that I'm just sitting here watching him do, I was like, man, I don't trust him, and it's really surprising to me that Maul is still trusting of him, because I really thought he was about to kill him in that cell.
Well, Maul is using Vario to the point where he doesn't need him anymore. Because Vario right now, he does want to survive. He does want to live. So what do you do? It's like, no, I can help you. I got intel. Let me give you some intel on this stuff.
And the way he shot your boy Demas, I was like, that was so cold-hearted.
Yeah. Yeah, the way he can come out of that box.
He called his name. Dude turns around, he shoots this dude 4 times, and then say something slick like "never shoot a man in the back." I was like, "That's cold and cool at the same time." Yes. But I was like, I don't trust this little midget, whatever being he is.
I do not trust this little midget.
I don't trust this little dude. And then he jumps in the big robot body and then just walks off. I was like, nah. And when he got caught and they took him out of the thing and they was about to, put hands on him. He was like, no, wait, I can help. I can get you all the money back. I can get you credits. I can do everything you need me to do. And then your boy was like, go ahead and take him alive. And then we'll discuss and see where we go from there. I really thought he was about to kill him, though.
Oh, yeah, no. I mean, you have to remember, Maul is a very intelligent being because he's one of the apprentices of Palpatine. So he is very intelligent. He is very calculating. He knows how to make a plan to the point where you won't even suspect him at all. So what I like about this show so far, which I think we're also going to get into, is we're going to see the depths of Maul's intelligence and how calculating he is, because he's a very calculating character.
Yeah, you can see he's playing chess, and the rest of the people they don't even know they playing the game.
I mean, the truce meeting between Demas and Vario even mentions like, well, do you think it's him? And he's like, no, he's dead. He's gone. Are you sure?
Right.
Because if it is him, like they even touched it. It's like, we know one person who would do this.
And the whole time he was sitting up there in the cut watching.
Yeah, with that little spy droid that I absolutely love.
Yep.
He's like, oh, Vario mad. Demas mad.
Yeah.
I don't know how Star Wars does it. They always introduce a new droid that everyone falls in love with, whether it's on the evil side, if you will, or the good side. Mm-hmm. We always fall in love with the new droid. My golly.
And that just attests to great writing, great character development that, I'm pretty sure they do a lot of research and go into detail to do all that, which I really appreciate, especially. Absolutely. And I'm appreciating this story. And like I would tell people, everybody, I'm going to be honest with you. I couldn't even tell you an entry point to jump in and start watching Star Wars, but I'm going to ask Jen, before they start watching this one, is there something that they should watch first before they watch the first episode of Maul to kind of be caught up? And I'm not talking about like all 7 seasons of Clone Wars, but is there something in particular?
I mean, if they want to get, I didn't check, but I will check for next week because we're going to be doing reviews of Maul every Sunday
until May 4th.
Until May the 4th. With other movies in between as they come up.
Yeah.
But just like to jump back, I have to check the Disney Plus platform to see if they have a specialized list to reference different things so you understand what's going on in the timeline. Because like one of the Mandalorians who is, I don't have her picture here. I wish I would have got.
I think I have the loyalist, his loyalist. Her name is Rook Cost.
Correct. Rook Kost. We actually see her first in the Darth Maul book, Son of Dathomir, and she's also in Clone Wars Season 7 in episode Old Friends Not Forgotten, where it touch bases more on her character, her connection to Mandalore, and all that. So that's where we've seen her before, and now we're getting her again in Maul. So I guess, like, I'm like what they did for Ahsoka, because they did it for Ahsoka. They put certain episode up for Ahsoka that you can see certain shows within Clone Wars that'll tie to that. There's going to be certain things too in Clone Wars that you can look at. You can look at that episode I just mentioned for Rook Cass, so you can get a little bit more context on her. You can watch Star Wars Rebels to see Maul, because the narrative he's using for this to find his next apprentice is the same thing he did with Ezra and Rebels. And one of the things I'm wondering, like in episode 1, where Rook says you had another vision, I don't know if he's seeing Ezra or if he's seeing this young lady as the apprentice, because from what we can tell, she's probably going to end up joining him, but I don't know if that vision is going to necessarily be her or if it's a vision of Ezra, because technically Maul, we know how Maul ends. He's like a Titanic situation. We know where it's headed. This is just another story within his story that we're actually getting.
Look, you said you think she's going to join his crew?
I do.
Or do you think it was their plan, her and the older Jedi, for her to go with him so they can see what his actual plan is? Because I think the older Jedi was tracking him from the beginning.
Oh, we don't have enough information to go off of that yet. In my opinion, I think at the moment it's just their paths have crossed, and it's interesting how their paths have crossed. And because Maul is needing and wanting an apprentice, the fact that they're on this planet with him, so it could be just a natural convergence. And then when he goes to the jail to basically get Vario, he has no idea that she's there. And then when he gets
he senses her.
He does sense her, because you have to remember, Jedi and Sith, especially when they're practicing, they can feel in the Force when one is around, unless they're concealing their presence, because Jedi and Sith can do that. They can conceal their presence in the Force, but that's not happening between either of them, which is why they both can pick up on. But here's another interesting thing. She knew who Maul was immediately. She opened the door and went, Maul.
But then, I mean, if she's in that world or she's around that world, I would think everybody would know who this dude is. Just like everybody know who Darth Vader is.
Technically, at this point, no one really.
I mean, not at this point, but I mean, when he started wrecking shop, you know who he is.
Oh yeah, but no. This gives me more interest to her character, because she came from the Jedi Temple, which means that means she was around when Obi-Wan took Maul out. Because now my question is, wait, how old is she? She knows of Maul, because it's only a year after Order 66 and everything hitting the fan. So now I'm like, well, wait, how old is she? Because if she knows who Maul is, that means she was around long enough in Jedi Temple to know about what the encounter between Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan, because everyone learned about it afterward.
That's a good question. I didn't even think about that. I didn't even think about her. Like I said, she looks like a young. What's the name of her race? Is Togruta? Togruta? That's what she is. Oh, right. I just want to make sure I'm saying it right. I know it's Togruta, right?
I'm blanking out. Hold on, let me look it up. I'm blanking out. I should have wrote down her species.
Yeah, her species. I was gonna say, like, do they age slower than humans?
It depends on the species. Like, there's some species in Star Wars that go. Maul female. I want to get this Jedi species, because I forget her name. Oh, her name is Dovin Azara. And it's saying here she's a Zabrak.
a Zabrak because she looks just like Ahsoka except for she's red.
Well, no, Ahsoka's different. I think that's a different
Right.
species. Yeah. I'm gonna do more research for next week so I can make sure that I'm caught up on
Because
that.
I was looking at that the whole time, and I love Ahsoka, so I was like, if Ahsoka is this, isn't she the same thing? That's why I asked you, because look, you're the expert on this.
I know. And my brain just went blank on live YouTube. Like, oh yeah, wait, what's our
It
species? I
happens.
forgot. It
It
happened.
happens.
I'll have that next week and just make sure that I'm caught up on that. I should know better.
But I was just curious because when I say she has all the same features as Ahsoka, and then she just so happens to be a Jedi or a Jedi in training, and I was like, man, but why? And my next question was going to be to you, like, why is she red? And all of the people that look like Ahsoka have white and blue. I don't know what their I don't know if it's their ears or their hair or whatever that's called that drips down.
Ahsoka is a different species from this young lady that we have here.
Okay.
Yeah, they're two different species.
Gotcha. But okay. So first episode, they kidnap your boy. They kidnap this young lady that we were just showing here. What's her name again?
Her name is Dovin.
They kidnap Dovin, and when I say they, I mean Maul and his crew. They treat her with some type of civility and respect because she's a
Twi'lek. That's what it is. She's a Twi'lek.
A Twi'lek?
Yes, a Twi'lek.
Am I saying that right? A Twi'lek.
Yeah, she's a Twi'lek.
Okay.
Yes.
So they kidnap her. He treated her with some type of respect. He was like, "Hey, you're hurt. Have a seat. We're gonna take care of you." The Mandalorians are, really good at, fixing injuries. And then, I guess, what's her name? Kaz. She was like, "Hey, how is she alive? Like, what's going on with this?" He was like, "Well, let's go ask her." He asked her a question. He was like, "Well, what are you?" And she was like, "A prisoner." And he was like, "If you say so." And then they put her in the cage, right?
Yep.
Then we jump to episode 2. And I'll let Jen jump in on this.
Yeah, so episode 2 is connecting right into episode 1, where we are, where Captain Lawson is trying to figure out what's going on and trying to figure out who Maul is. How is he connected to these gang members? Why does he want Varia? Why is Demas dead? So he's basically putting the puzzle pieces together. And we also get introduced to his son too. So basically we're still setting the chessboard of what's going on. And we are also seeing Maul basically executing his plan and going after everyone who thinks that he owes. And the fact that he's also looking for an apprentice, now we're starting to see him have more interaction with Devin or Dovin, however it's pronounced, the Twi'lek who's captured, because one of the things he's doing, because he knows she's a Jedi. So the fact that he's saying, you can leave whenever you want. And she's like, can I?
But, and that's because she don't know how powerful she is. And obviously he can sense her power because he's way older than her. He has more training than her. God only knows how long he's been around.
She's talking to the apprentice of Emperor Palpatine.
So, and then another question. Why won't the captain tell his superior who he chasing? He just out here in the streets just chasing this guy. Don't really know how dangerous he is. Obviously, he has some sense of how dangerous he is, but why won't he tell his superiors, hey, we got this new player on the scene?
Because the Empire will be contacted, because this planet right now, because we're only a year after all those events, this is one of the planets that's not being affected by the Empire. And for people who have common sense and the smarts to know what's going on, the last thing you want is the Empire getting involved in your planet. So it's also trying to avoid the attention of the Empire coming to the planet and taking it over completely, like we've seen in Rebels.
Now, I hear you saying that the Empire doesn't have their little fingers in here, but they have spice, they have credits from the Empire, they have all this stuff from the Empire. The Empire got to keep a account of their, stuff, right?
Actually, no, we don't know that yet. These the credits that they're dealing with could still be Republic credits, not Empire credits.
Okay. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Okay, then, all right. Because I
Because
called myself trying to put this thing together. I was like, wait a minute now. Okay, like
yeah,
wait a
no,
minute.
there's a lot we don't know, and that's just because of where we're at in the timeline with this. So they're probably still dealing in Republic credits, and it's only a year later
Mm-hmm.
where all this went down. So not everything is caught up with how these new systems are being put into place, because there's also the scientific experiments and the funding of everything. So so yeah, they're probably still using Republic credits and not Imperial credits yet.
Okay, well that makes sense. But I guess I might have missed a part, although I did watch this 3 times, and I saw his son and their conversation when he was like, I want to go visit someone, and I must have missed that name. Who did his son want to go and visit? And he thinks it's too
His
dangerous for him to
mother.
go by himself. So his son wants to go visit his mom. His dad, who is a captain, is afraid that if he goes to visit his mom by himself, he's going to get harmed. But his dad won't take time off so they can go together. So I'm thinking that's going to be a conflict in the relationship right there. Why his dad is trying to hunt down Maul, like as if he don't have his plate full already. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I don't think he knows yet, like I said, who Maul is yet. And I think there is, a rift between the parents,
Mm-hmm.
and probably doesn't want to see the wife either. And then
That makes
there's
sense.
so so there's like an underlying tension to the story of what's going on.
That makes sense. And it's funny when, and I was just thinking to myself, and I know I'm moving forward towards the end of episode 2, but just how powerful is Maul when he can just, at the snap of a finger, rip the suspension off a bridge, and then you have the Jedi who is literally seemed like he was struggling for his life to keep that bridge up. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, man, if they would have got the fight, I think the little guy would have lost on this one.
Well, you have to remember too, after the Order 66, Jedi are in hiding. So they're concealing themselves to not be discovered. Granted, because we don't know how they're being hunted yet, because
Mm-hmm.
this is before Vader does the Inquisitor program. We don't have the Inquisitors yet.
Mm-hmm.
So there's still a chance that Jedis can be discovered and then turned over to the Empire. So, and because it has been a year and they probably are not using the Force intentionally, it's like using a muscle that you haven't used in a while, because
Right.
you have to remember when you are a Jedi or someone who can use the Force and you use it all the time, it's a part of your everyday life. You get to the point where you don't even think about it. So when you're cutting yourself off from it, yeah, you're going to struggle using the Force, because
Mm.
it's a muscle you have
What's
untrained.
what is his name? Can you go back one picture? What is his name again? Master
Oh,
Iko Dio Daki?
yes.
Okay. I said that right, man. I'm so I don't do this often. Let me pat myself on the back. Oh, I got that right.
You are doing
Hey,
so good.
yeah.
I'm
Well,
so proud of you.
thank you, ma'am. Thank you. I look, I was like, man, I gotta go on here with Jen. I'm gonna struggle with some of these names. And she gonna be like, that's wrong.
That's okay. No, because I'm not even sure how to pronounce our Twi'lek's name, because they haven't said it yet. So I could be
Mm-hmm.
saying it wrong until it's pronounced on the show, and I'm like, okay, I got it.
Right. 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 Right.
Got it,
Right.
got it, got it. So the other thing I kind of want to talk about that I absolutely loved is, as we all know, Star Wars has its known tropes,
Mm-hmm.
redemption arcs, and if a character doesn't fall into the redemption arc so many times, then you see them fall away very terribly. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's very unforgiving if you don't take your redemption arc within Star
Mm-hmm.
Wars. And then you have what we're seeing, kind of like the father-son dynamic. We've seen that a lot, especially with master and apprentice relationships. But the other thing we're starting to get that I'm absolutely here for is hallway scenes where
Yeah.
they just
Wreck shop.
shred, take him
Yes.
out. And the first one because now Darth Maul has his own hallway scene, which is very resembling to this that we're gonna
Yes.
pop up here, where
One
we
of the
first saw
coldest things
Vader,
ever.
where we saw Vader in Rogue One having this infamous hallway scene that is now forever iconic in Star Wars. And then the next one we get after that, father like son, we
Yep.
have Luke also getting his own hallway scene, and everyone talked about how that's his daddy, that's Papa
Yeah.
Anakin, that's Papa Anakin, and now we have Maul with his own hallway scene, which is really dope.
It really was pretty dope to watch.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing is, and I keep saying this, and I'm gonna keep saying this. Do you know how much skill you got to have a lightsaber on both ends of something and not touch yourself and cut your own up? Like the skill this man has and how he wields this thing is absolutely amazing to me.
Well, that was the thing too. When we first, like, Maul is the first character that introduced the double saber in episode 2 when he lit it up. With the confrontation
Oh,
between Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan.
yes.
That's the first double saber we have in Star Wars history. So, and then it was after that when we start getting these iterations. Now, because you said to the saber, one of the things that they did, that they announced to the public, is that Sam Whitaker, they incorporated Sam Whitaker screams into the saber sounds. So you hear
Really?
Sam Whitaker screams when he's using the saber in
Hey,
fight
that's pretty
combat.
cool.
It's dope. It's like, wait,
That's pretty cool.
like I could head canon that and come up with reasons that's probably not the reason why they did it
Yeah.
for the sake of Star Wars. But yeah, all of the lightsaber sound effects have Sam Whitaker screaming, and you can hear it. Once you hear it, you hear it. And
Once you pay attention to it, you can actually. Oh,
so
that's super
yes,
cool.
you can. Like they manipulated it, but
Wow.
it is dope how they did that.
Oh wow. No, I mean, and so Jen, so far we've only got 2 episodes. I think this their episodes drop on Mondays.
Mondays we get
Um
2 every week.
so Monday we're gonna get 2 more episodes tomorrow. Um
Mhm.
where do you think no, I'm not gonna even ask that question. It's too early to ask that question. Let me ask you this. First, are you enjoying it?
Of course.
And second,
Of course.
where do you see the young, what is her species again? You're gonna keep reminding
Twilight.
me. Twilight. Where do you see her going? Where do you see her story going? Because I know you said she may join, but I don't feel like she may join Maul.
I think she will, only because of what we've seen in trailers and some images that have been coming out, because I believe there's an image of her holding a red saber, so she may turn.
Okay.
She may turn.
Okay.
So my prediction right now with that, to answer your question, there is going to be a team up between Maul, Devin, whatever her name is, and our Jedi Master, because of where things are at. Because the fact that they're already mentioning so many times, both in episode 1 and 2, we don't want the Empire involved. We can't tell them yet. We can't tell them yet. We can't tell them yet. The Empire is going to probably come to this planet at some point and get involved.
Right.
So we're definitely going to see the Empire, which is really a really dope thing, because we haven't really seen a lot aside from books and comic books, the nitty gritty of the Empire and how the Empire becomes the Empire and how they figure things out and how they take over planets and completely just destroy them. Because you have to remember, the energy program is the cover-up story for all of the misgivings that the
Yes.
Empire is doing. Like it's the
Yeah.
lie for all lies. So
Yeah.
the kyber crystals, fighting the kyber crystals, beginning to make plans for building the Death Star,
Mhm.
ransacking and just ravaging planets, all the science experiments that Palpatine is doing because he wants to clone himself so he never dies. All of this stuff is under that umbrella of the energy program. So this could go a variety of ways. One, Maul is the Titanic. We know how it ends because it has to lead up to the Rebels finale. It has to tie into that. But as far as the nitty gritty and how we're going to get there and where this plane is going to land, it's still pretty open ended. But the Empire will get involved, And it's going to be interesting to see what happens when the Empire finds out Maul's not dead.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they
That's
don't
what I'm
know.
waiting on.
They
And
don't
then
know that he's not dead.
but then the question,
Palpatine thinks he's dead, and he's not.
and then the question for me, Jen, is who do they send after this cat?
We'll find out.
Yeah. So, with that being said, unless Jen has more to add on to this review of these first 2 episodes of Maul, I'm going to say something.
Say it.
I don't know where it's going. I don't know how we got here, but you know what, Jen? I'm along for the ride. I told you before, I think Darth Maul is one of the coolest characters I've ever seen in Star Wars. You know, and I don't really even know his entire story, but when I saw the previews for this, I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be there for it. And for these first 2 episodes, he's not only showing me he can be cold and cruel, he's showing me he can be caring, but yet he's so methodical and intelligent. And I'm just watching him play this chess game of all of these people that he's moving around like pawns. You know what I'm saying? And it's really interesting considering the fact who his guy was, who he was a pawn of. You know what I'm saying?
Which is one of the reasons why we get to see why Palpatine chose him, because of his intelligence, his meticulous, the fact that he can play the chessboard like Palpatine, and basically like move in ways where people don't even know it's him, and because the fact that he's using to his advantage that people think he's dead.
Most definitely, which is super smart. I mean, why would you reveal yourself? And the fact I'm still kind of tripping on how they got his picture. How the captain was looking at his picture. I don't know what camera he passed where they took a picture of him.
It was from the security footage that was collected. So he just pulled it up on the hologram within the system because, they didn't get all of the security cameras that were being footaged, like taking them out. And I have to, again, I have seen this show 2 or 3 times already, and I'm going to go back and watch it again because there's so much in here.
It's so much, and I still, like I said earlier today, I was like, it's something I miss. I'm missing something. Like, oh, wait a minute.
Well, there's stuff we don't know yet, and how it's going to connect as the story unfolds. Because the other thing too that I will say, and it's a known fact, the cinematic universe of Star Wars does cherry picking. So it's how is this going to tie into everything else that has been produced? Clone Wars, Rebels. This also correlates to season 2 of the Bad Batch. That's happening right now after Order 66. That storyline is playing out right now within this timeline. So how it's going to correlate to all that and connect, and how and how it's going to connect to the Empire, all of this stuff. So there's other stuff we don't know what's going to happen, and how maybe Maul might have to deviate from this plan of taking out all of the heads of the underworld.
Oh, the underworld. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I'm going to tell you something. I'm along for the ride, and I can't wait to see what happens. And I can't wait to see the actual conclusion or the climax of this show, because I know it's going to be something to behold. And I'm so excited, Jen. Got us another Star Wars. We got us another Star Wars to watch. You know what I'm saying?
We have this until May the 4th, and then a few weeks later, we're going to see Mandalorian and Grogu. We're going to be doing a review of that on this channel. But yeah, it is so good to have another Star Wars show. Oh, and one other thing I will say that I thought was really cool. I don't know if you picked up on it. Did this feel like Batman-esque to you?
I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't pick up on that.
You didn't?
I didn't pick up on that. I didn't. I told you I went into this thing with like fresh eyes, because like I said, I don't really know his story or this story.
So this planet. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just gonna say, because I'm just watching it, like I said, with fresh eyes, like I'm reading the book for the first time. Like, what is going on? Why are they doing this? Why is he stealing this stuff back? Why is he trying to kill all the heads of the underworld? I know somebody betrayed him, but it wasn't everybody who betrayed him, but he's killing everybody, so it really don't matter.
That's his POV. Yeah, so this planet we're on that we've never seen before, called Genix, it's a brand new location created for the show. They actually took inspiration from Gotham.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
It is Gotham inspired, and for people who recognize it, they've already been calling it out that it looks and feels like Batman a little bit. And the other thing that I thought was dope is the animation style is
Yeah.
also in nods to Star Wars Visions season 2 episode 1 called Sith. The animation
Mm-hmm.
style of that looks very similar. So I thought that was cool how it's a nod to that, and the fact that that episode is called Sith, and just the way this whole animation style is designed. I am loving how they're doing the animation in this film,
Oh yeah.
from the way the background looks to the characters, where there's nods to the Clone Wars and how it looks like Clone Wars and Rebels a little bit, but in a different light. So it has its own
Mm-hmm.
unique tone, which is also very dope. So, so much to be said about this show. I'm excited to keep going and going on the journey of this and breaking it down here with you all. It's
Oh
gonna be
yeah. Oh yeah, it's gonna be great. And with that being said, hey, I'm gonna let Jen close this thing out. Jen, let the people know where they can find us.
All right, party people, here's what you can do. You can follow us here on YouTube at All Star Fandom. We have a TikTok, we have an Instagram for as long as we have those platforms. We are on there, active, alive, having fun. We are here weekly at 9:05 at Wednesdays for your All Star Fandom Prime, where we break down
Yes.
the latest nerd news. We
Yeah.
have a couple of exciting things coming up. We have the writers and producers of X-Men 97 coming up here at the end of April, so make sure you tune in for
Yes.
that. We're going to have a fun conversation there. And we will be back here next week, Sunday, 3:30
Yes.
p.m. to continue our review of Maul Shadow Lord right here on All Star Fandom. So please make sure that you don't miss a show. Turn on the notification, like, share, subscribe,
Yes.
tell the people where we at.
Yes. And until next time, it's been me, Doc. That's Jen. We out this thing. Peace.
Peace.